Welcome to the We Shine Well podcast, where I have real conversations with thought leaders in wellness to help you live your most vibrant, aligned, and purposeful life. I'm your host, Zoe Kelsey, founder of We Shine Well. Here, we share honest stories, gems of wisdom, and insight to spark clarity and guide your next right step, so you can shine brighter from the inside out. Now let's dive in. I'm so excited to be joined by Gina Lamanna, stylist, breast health advocate, breast cancer thriver, and founder of the Fondle Project. Gina's work is all about helping women reconnect with their bodies, normalize self-exams, approach breast health with empowerment rather than fear, and support women in life after breast cancer to re-spark their confidence. In this conversation, we talk about knowing you're normal, rebuilding trust with your body after major transitions, and how style, storytelling, and self-advocacy can literally save lives. This episode is such a beautiful invitation to come home to your body, so let's dive in. Hi, Gina. I am so excited you're here. I feel like before this, we were just talking and could talk for hours. So we're going to now record and just continue the conversation. I'm just so grateful you're here as like such a vibrant light. And I will share in the intro that you're such a beautiful breast cancer survivor and thriver. And before we get into that, I just want to like better get to know you and our listeners and like, how did you get to where you are today?
First and foremost, I'm super excited to be here, so thank you. I've been very much looking forward to having this conversation. How did I get to where I am today, like current day, like 2026?
Yeah, whatever you want to share.
Well, let's see. I'm a former fashion stylist and now breast cancer thriver. I am the founder of the Fondle Project, which is a very small grassroots LA-based nonprofit that focuses on educating, empowering women around breast health, self-exams, and most importantly, self-advocacy. Divorced, single mom of 2 teenagers, live here in West Los Angeles, originally from the East Coast. And I am pivoting into the unknown, as I mentioned to you earlier. It's extremely gratifying and exciting, but at the same time, a little scary. You know, when you leave a lucrative business or a lucrative career as a stylist for almost 30 years into the nonprofit world. It's been definitely a journey. Exciting again, but I'm a little scared.
Well, we're on the journey of life and you're not on this alone. So I'd love to like unpack this. How did you get to be a stylist? And then when did you find out and how did you find out that you had breast cancer?
Oh gosh, when did I became a stylist? I started playing with clothes at the age of 17, 18. Used to work at my best friend's mom's thrift store back east. And I knew like this is what I'm made for this. My dad used to like get me dressed every time, you know, the new school year. Let's go clothing shopping for school. And we'd go and he would, put me all together in these cute little outfits and when a spree and Benetton was a big thing back then. I'm much older than you. You probably don't even know what a spree and Benetton is, but kind of fell into fashion through, connections and whatnot. I went to FIT in New York and studied visual merchandising, not actual styling per se. And I ended up coming here in California when I was 22, 23, met a boy who was in production. Next thing you know, I'm working as an assistant to a stylist with a production house or a production company. And my career kind of just flourished from there. But with that being said, I was styling on production for, probably about 10 years and became burned out. Recognized I wanted to get married and have a family, and this was not the kind of life I wanted to do. Although I loved fashion and styling and making women feel good, I came up with a concept to have my own private styling studio and create like a by appointment only studio space here in my backyard. I have a detached guest house. So I did that for about another 20 some years, which was amazing. It was like shopping in your best friend's closet. We
Mhm.
would host trunk shows and introduce new female founder brands. And we'd have different like activations with different brands. We'd have like yoga, we would have like tarot reading here, we would have fashion shows. It was awesome. It was amazing. And I had this
Mhm.
incredible private clientele, and women loved it too, especially new moms because they'd come over at like 7 a.m. with their babies and I'd be styling them post baby and everything. So it was definitely a beautiful space. It was nicknamed the crack house because it was very addicting.
Mhm.
My utopia, especially when I gave birth to my babies, because again, I had the luxury and the privilege to work out of my home and throw my baby in a sling and be able to dress my clientele during these various transformations in life. Fast forward to 2016. I was newly separated, already in a new relationship, but a long distance relationship. I was commuting between LA and New York, and I went in October of 2016 for my annual mammogram. I was on a
Mhm.
rotation of mammograms and ultrasounds every 6 months, starting at the age of 30, because my mother
Mhm.
was diagnosed with breast cancer. So that
Mhm.
put me at a higher risk. That's a very important fact I'd like to share.
Yeah.
Started my screenings at the age of 30. However, in between those screenings, Zoe, I was extremely proactive performing my self exams, aka fondling my breasts,
Mhm.
constantly just like, paying attention to all any new changes and whatnot. So it was in July of 2016, I had my normal ultrasounds. Forward to late October 2016, went in for my mammogram, normal. However,
Mhm.
in between October and November, late November, I kept feeling something that didn't feel normal to me. Brought it to
Mhm.
my doctor's attention again, went to see her. She did another ultrasound. She was in agreement that it felt different and funny, but she didn't see anything alarming on the ultrasound that for me to
Mhm.
come back in 6 months.
Mhm.
And I said, no disrespect, no, but something is telling me something's not right. I was
Mhm.
41 at the time, newly single, two young little girls. And I was like, what would be my next step of action to confirm this is normal or this is okay? Like, and she said,
Yeah.
wait, you can get an MRI, but your insurance is going to cover it because all your screenings have been clear. I said, I will pay
Mhm.
out of pocket. Something in my gut at that point in
Mhm.
my life was telling me this doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
So pushed for the MRI. Long story short, pushed for the MRI, got the MRI. They indeed found suspicious findings. I went and had my first MRI guided biopsy. It came back benign from
Mhm.
UCLA. However, I'm a big, 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 big advocate and believer of second opinions. So
Mhm.
my ex-husband and I pursued a second and third opinion at Sloan Kettering in New York, as well as MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. And it was, remember, this is all around like November, like Thanksgiving at the time. I'm going throughout.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until New Year's Eve of 2016, I was with my then boyfriend in Vermont on vacation that I got the call, which I got the call from my ex-husband, believe it or not. My ex-husband and I are very good friends.
Mhm.
Deliver the news to me that it was,
Yeah.
we got the second and third opinion. And the reason why, a little backstory, the reason why I had him deliver the news is because when my doctor called me the first round to tell me they found suspicious findings, I literally went off the road. My dad was in the car visiting for Thanksgiving, and I literally went off the road. I didn't have my daughters in the car, but I was shaking. And when you hear those words, we found something suspicious, we need to do further diagnostic testing. I was so shooken up.
Yeah.
So I had gave permission to my team of doctors saying, look, when these results come back, please give the results to my ex-husband first so he can deliver good or bad news when I'm in a safe space. I'm not, whether I'm with my kids or just deliver it the right. It's all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he called me on New Year's Eve and he let me know that they got the second and the third opinion back, that it was indeed invasive ductal carcinoma. So point being is self-advocacy is so important.
Mhm.
second opinions are really important because a second opinion and third opinion saved my life. Body awareness is so important. Because I know you follow us, I talk a lot about knowing you're normal, how
Yeah.
it is for women to know they're normal because our bodies change so much. Hormones, waking, post baby, divorce, all kinds of, we're going through so many changes, right?
Mhm.
And our bodies change. So knowing you're normal is paying attention to what is normal when you are healthy and when you're, feeling good. And because next month you could find a new lump, which could be very normal for you. It could be just a hormone.
Mhm.
So if you pay attention to what your body feels like, I personally like to recommend, I mean, I am not a doctor, as you know, I'm not an
Yeah.
expert per se, but I'm just going from my personal experience and meeting many women that are on this journey and how they discovered their breast cancer. I
Mhm.
like to suggest and recommend women create more of a routine, kind of like brushing your teeth, having your tea, doing your skin routine, like perform your self exams, create a ritual. It's creating a ritual just like the things that we do every day.
Mhm.
On Fridays now, women are now doing their self exams on Fridays every week. Yes,
Mhm.
some doctors will say do it once a month, but Chloe, you could do it today and next month it could be different, and then you could do it the following month, and it could be our breast tissue changes so much. If
Mhm.
you get into a routine doing it often, you'll get it. You're like, this is normal. You
Yeah.
know, this is so normal for me. Like this bump that's been here for 3 months that hasn't changed, like you can get it checked out and it's most likely probably nothing maybe, but you're paying attention, you're armed with that information because knowledge is power, right? If you're taking
Mhm.
over your body.
Yeah.
It's not about creating fear. This is empowering women to know they're normal and know their body and really pay attention. And it's so important that when you are performing a self exam, that you check underneath your armpits, you check your clavicle area, because unfortunately, breast cancer is found underneath your armpits, right here in this area. And when you go to see your OBGYN once a year, she's just doing just a quickie.
Mhm. Yeah.
She feels all day long.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, about 40% of breast cancer that is diagnosed, it's found by 40% of women find them personally through self-exam.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, and I do want to share this and I want to um, scream from the heavens above that 90% of breast cancers that are women that are diagnosed with breast cancer, there is
Mhm.
no family history and there's
Mhm.
no known genetic gene, which means the 5 to 10% of women that are diagnosed have the genetic mutation or have family history.
Mhm.
To paint a clearer picture, when we launched our first campaign one, there was 10 of us, 10 survivors. Only
Mhm.
one of us had family history, and that was me. The other nine had
Wow.
zero family history, no genetic mutation or gene, and the youngest was 24 years old. So
Wow.
unfortunately, it's becoming more common in women,
Mhm.
younger women. I think they're saying it's around 8% of women that are diagnosed now are under the age of 40. So
Wow.
it's really, really important. Yes, I'm not saying self-exams take place for your annual screenings. Your screenings are very, very important. They've lowered the age
Mhm.
now to age 40. If you have family history, like unfortunately my daughter has to start at the age of 20. Um,
Mhm.
she's going to be 17, but she's now performing her self-exams. And she's
Yeah.
actually feels pretty empowered.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah,
was,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna ask too, like, how do you like support, even like we were talking before this, your daughters who are teenagers getting to know they're normal and having that be normal to like do self-examinations as well, and then even like,
You know,
yeah.
you don't mind me circling back for a
No.
second. You wanted to know how I kind of launched Fondle, and being a fashion stylist and going through cancer, post all my reconstructive surgeries and whatnot, I lost my confidence and I lost my self-esteem. Like many
Mhm.
women do, we lose our hair, our body changes. I lost my breasts. And
Yeah.
as a fashion stylist, my job is to help you regain your confidence, feel sexy and beautiful. So how do I provide that if I don't feel that way? So I really
Mhm.
struggled for a couple years.
Yeah.
Obviously, I regained my confidence and got my groove back and all that. However,
Mhm.
when I was diagnosed, I met many women, obviously, that were going through the same thing. So I had
Mhm.
the idea of the Founder Project pre-pandemic, and I wanted to create this beautiful, elevated, more modern campaign, no pink. I wanted to be very editorial, stylized with amazing brands to make these women feel so sexy and remind them that this does not define who they are. Our
Mhm.
scars are beautiful. They're just a chapter of our story. And I had to put it on hold because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
However, fast forward post pandemic, my then soon to be 14-year-old finds a lump in her breast.
Mhm.
And she came to me saying, Mom, like, what is this? I called her pediatrician. He told me what I need to do. And he's like, get a warm compress, get her in the shower and put a warm compress because she knew her breasts were developing. She was
Yeah.
soon to be 14. And I'm in the shower with her and I'm
Mhm.
showing her how to put this warm compress on this redness and this lump, this small lump that she has on her breast.
Mhm.
And she looks up at me and says, Mommy, do I have breast cancer?
Mm.
And I was like, okay, this is where like this is how
Wow.
early fear is starting. Like I
Mhm.
need to do something. I need to have these conversations and teach my daughters and teach younger women how to know their body and to pay attention and to be there an advocate and have the confidence to ask the questions because
Mhm.
I started worrying at the age of 30. This is a 14-year-old already having these
Mhm.
conversations in her head.
Yeah.
What other young girls? And the more like the more women I meet, especially this 24-year-old that we featured, she found a lump at 22. She was
Mm.
dismissed at the age of 22 until finally she was diagnosed at the age of 24 with stage 3 breast cancer. And she had shared, she's like,
Wow.
we're not learning about our bodies. We're not
Mhm.
learning what to ask, we don't have the confidence to ask questions to our doctors, or we just don't have the knowledge. So that
Mhm.
is where I kind of like, okay, I need to do something like, marry both my fashion
Mhm.
experience and create this elevated campaign and start a movement for, especially for the younger, like younger generation, like
Yeah.
our demographic, like early detection is key. Like I caught mine at 41. It's happening. Like know your body. Just pay attention.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, that's so powerful. And how did you even teach your how young was your daughter who was 14 when she found a lump when you started teaching her to do self-exams?
I started when she was around 15.
Mhm. Well,
Started,
but didn't she find it at 14?
She did, but it was just a development of like she was her breasts were development was almost like it was nothing like abnormal, whatever. So I put a pin in it. Like I walked her through it,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to create anxiety, so I put a pin in it, and then I revisited about a year later because I was getting ready to launch Bondle. And now, I mean, is she doing it weekly? No. Is she paying more attention? Yes. I actually walked by a couple weeks ago. Her bathroom, the door was slightly ajar. She'll probably kill me for sharing this, but I saw her like she was doing her self exam. She's paying attention because unfortunately, she has a very, very high risk. So she
Mhm.
is going to pay attention and she sees that I'm the perfect role model for her, and she witnessed her mother being a very strong advocate for my body. And
Mhm.
now my soon to be 14-year-old, not so much. We're having conversations because she's reading books, so she's learning about her body because she hasn't got her period yet.
Mhm.
She is aware, but I don't think she's
Mhm.
quite there yet to kind of like start feeling her breasts.
Yeah.
I'll probably start to guide her in about when she's 15. And or
Mhm.
her older sister will help her because maybe she'll be more comfortable with her older sister, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
And for somebody who's never done a self-exam on themselves, which I assume people listening might not, like you mentioned your clavicle, but what areas should you be examining to make sure that like they're normal on an ongoing basis?
well, first and foremost, when you are ready to perform your self-exam, do not do it when you're sick, because
Mhm.
our lymph nodes swell up underneath our armpits and under, in this area. So you may be performing a self-exam while you're sick and feel like inflammation, and it may create unnecessary anxiety and panic.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, I always recommend women start up here, again, clavicle area, and you go all the way down, and then you
Mhm.
start up here. You just go all the way around your underneath your armpit with light, gentle strokes. I'm just going to do a self-exam right here. Fine. You're going to go around and you go underneath your breast and
Mhm.
all the way around till you reach your nipple. And you're looking for any kind of lumps, bumps, discharge, scaliness. Some women have complained, I didn't, complain of itchiness, um,
Mm.
bloody discharge. Those are like things that you're looking out for. I will say this, one breast is usually always larger than the other. That is very normal. So don't
Mhm.
be alarmed if you're looking at yourself, because it's about looking at your breasts and seeing any kind of changes. But
Mhm.
yes, do not forget underneath your armpits, check your clavicle area, and just do a full underneath your breasts and all around.
Mhm. I mean, I'm 31 years old and not near having to get even an exam, but my mom and like my family has history of having like dense breasts, so my mom has like made me aware of that, and I know that I have them, so I'm always like doing self-exams to just like make sure that everything is like normal too.
Dense breast, it's really important. If you are, I had dense breasts too before I had my double mastectomy. And ultrasounds are really good for you. You're
Mhm.
you're not ready for a mammogram yet. You'll get it at the age of 40.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've had multiple. My doctor's like, "You don't need them." I'm like, "I want to make sure everything is okay."
again, I am not an expert at all, but I would recommend maybe at the age of 35, you get a baseline ultrasound done. There's no radiation. And since you have dense breasts, it's like your baseline. So when you go in for your mammogram, and I would suggest, like it was every 6 months, and your insurance will cover it. If you have dense
Uh-huh.
breasts, you should get an ultrasound, because mammograms, unfortunately, don't usually collect all the information or can see everything if you have dense breasts. But self-exams are a tool. I'm not suggesting women stop doing their screenings. Screenings are very important. I'm saying in
Mhm.
between those screenings, and some women forget to do their annual screenings or what have you, but our breasts change so much. And just if you know what they feel like, what's normal for you. I have a girlfriend who's extremely lumpy. She's got lots of cysts. Very
Mhm.
normal.
Yep.
There's not much change. It is so
Mhm.
normal. But just to give herself, peace of mind, she went in and she had an ultrasound and an MRI. I think she was 37 or 38. So
Mhm.
normal. So
Yeah.
she still does her self-exams, but she's paying attention, like, is anything changing? Does something feel hard? Like, is there anything up here? But that's
Mhm.
information. And information is powerful,
Mhm.
and I think it's really important as an advocate, as a founder of this organization, that sharing stories is so important, because
Mhm.
the fear, it builds community, it softens things, if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
education empowers women. I mean, I've met so many women in their late 30s and 40s that don't know how to perform a self-exam.
Mhm.
I had the opportunity last November to speak to about 250 women at the Liberty Road Summit. Netta wanted me to guide women on a self-exam. And at first, we weren't sure of the temperature. Like when she asked me, I'm like, I don't know how these women are going to be. I walked up
Yeah.
there, every woman, 250 plus women, did the self-exam. I guided them, and they came up, about 50 women approached me afterwards, thanking me for normalizing, or I didn't know how to do it. They
Mhm.
DM'd me, tell me they found something, they were going to get
Wow.
straight away. They would have never done the everything's fine and they're
Mhm.
benign, but they were like, thank you for having this conversation, put it on our radar, the importance of knowing, like paying attention, because there's many stories like mine. A lot of women find their lumps, unfortunately, on their own and not through their screenings.
Mhm.
And a lot of doctors don't listen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Kind of like the perimenopause, menopause space,
Mhm.
you know?
So yeah, I mean, we have to be our own advocates to an extent, and that's where self exams come in. But also to your point, storytelling of you being your own advocate, that empowers other people to become their own advocate and share from your story, share their own stories, go to the doctor, catch something that they might not have before. And I even love how you're marrying like your passion for styling to just build that confidence up in women to have confidence no matter if they find something or not, to be confident in asking the questions and be to be educated and empowered if they do, to be supported and not feel so alone.
Exactly. Well, when women, I mean, when you hear real stories, you take action, you pay attention, like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
But circling back to the styling part, as I had mentioned, I struggled with my lack of confidence and self-esteem for a handful of years post my diagnosis, and I met many women doing it. And
Did you have to have full on chemo or and lose all
I
your
did not,
hair?
no, fortunately, my cancer was caught very early.
Uh-huh.
I did not have chemo. I did not need chemo, but I declined tamoxifen and I declined radiation. I went
Uh-huh.
through double mastectomy, had implants, but they made me very sick rather quickly, so I had them removed. That's another story where no doctor believed me that I was sick for like 9 months. And finally I was like, get them out. And since then I'm strong and healthy as an ox now. But the
Uh-huh.
implant made me very sick, but no doctor believed me. They thought it was all in
Mm,
my head. They're like, you've been through so much. You're crazy. You've double mastectomy. You have no energy. All these symptoms are the result of your double mastectomy. I'm like, no, my body just doesn't seem right. So the moment I remove them, game changer. But going back to styling and fashion, that part of that really, it healed me. And that's why I wanted to tie this
mhm,
in, like getting dressed every day to like even before I had cancer, like getting dressed every day is a mood booster. Like it
mhm,
just, you can tackle the world. If you're feeling good, you're putting on your favorite jeans and your favorite t-shirt, or I don't care if it's your favorite sweats and whatever. If you feel
mhm.
great in them and you feel sexy and confident, go for it.
Yeah.
So for me, like it took me a little bit of time, but I started getting dressed every day because I had access to beautiful clothes and an amazing
Mhm,
wardrobe and brands, beautiful jewelry, all these things. And I would get dressed every day. And it really helped me heal and bring my confidence back,
mhm,
and it helped me with my mood and self-esteem and everything in between. So it definitely helped me. And
mhm,
like just helped me with my sensuality back, and feel like get ready to date again. That's
mhm.
another thing, when you're faced with a cancer diagnosis and you're single and you don't have a partner anymore. It's just like, oof, that was a whole nother mind fuck, excuse my language,
Yeah.
with all of that. So that took some time.
Well, so like thinking about confidence in yourself, how did you redefine? I mean, it sounds like getting dressed every day, but would you say your confidence changed before you found out you had breast cancer to after in a like more empowered way to feel like you had a calling to support other women?
My confidence was post. It came back post. Like I had confidence before,
Yeah.
but after recognizing how strong my body is and how powerful, and I'm sure you'll agree with me as a young woman, our intuition is so
Mhm.
powerful. And it took me some time to recognize like My intuition is powerful and beautiful. My body is strong. My body has been through so much. I mean, I went through almost seven surgeries in 13 months, and I
Wow.
rebounded quickly, and just having so much respect for my body. I learned to
Mhm.
love it again. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
was time, in the beginning, it's just like, why me? Like, I don't understand, did everything right. And I was never sick, even when I found out, like, I was a vibrant young woman, active and
Mhm.
I thought was healthy,
Yeah.
and then all this went down. But it really took me some time to love myself again and just accept all the changes. But at the same time, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that in a way it was a blessing in disguise because it reiterated the importance of intuition and slowing down.
Mhm.
And like I took inventory of what was happening in my life to de-stress, purge friendships, business relationships, clients, like what was really weighing me down and what was no longer bringing me joy.
Mhm.
It's an act, it's a form of self-love, right? Like protecting your peace, creating boundaries, and I can tell you that I am the happiest and the strongest that I've been in my life,
Mhm.
during everything that I've been through.
That's
Oh,
powerful. And it's also, you have such a beautifully strong intuition, even talking about it from advocating for yourself and then having having your implants removed to even advocating for other people and like seeing in them what they might not see in themselves through fully expressing yourself and fully expressing themselves as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about like how the Fondle Project comes to life of supporting these women and how you see personal style playing a role in this embodiment and reclaiming their identity after this diagnosis and thriving?
sure, absolutely. So, well, there's a couple layers of the Fondle Project, right? We have the awareness, educating young women, right, to perform their self-exams, stay on top of their annual screening. That's very, very important. Bringing women
Mhm.
together in safe spaces to have the conversation, to normalize the conversation about breast health, and me being the boob lady, guiding women on a proper self-exam. But then there's the other component where moving forward, and this is not discussed a lot in cancer space, and I think I may even mention this in my intake form, whatever. So when you're diagnosed or faced with a cancer diagnosis, you go through all the layers of it, right? Treatment, chemo, radiation,
Mhm.
life, all of that. And during that time, we're in survival mode. I mean,
Mhm.
extreme survival mode. And during that time, usually we get an influx of support, family, friends, whatever, sending meals, carpools. Like I was so blessed. Like I had an amazing
Mhm.
community of support. Unfortunately, when we're on the other side, our healing doesn't start usually. I mean, again, everybody's different, but we don't usually start to feel like ourselves or start to thrive or heal for a year, 2 years. This is a journey for the rest
Mhm.
of our life. And as
Mhm.
a breast cancer survivor and being very involved with other amazing organizations, there are so many great organizations out there, especially the BCRF is amazing. They are all about research. Research is so important. Medicine and research has come a long way, even from back when my mother was diagnosed. However, there's not many organizations or support for women post to really
Mhm.
help women heal and thrive. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
So, sure, women need the rides to chemo. That's all needed and welcome. We will take it. But what about the single mom or the woman that's struggling 2, 3 years later with her body image? What's happening
Mhm.
there? Maybe she doesn't have access, like maybe she's got lots of aches and joint pain from chemo or from the tamoxifen or the drugs that she's on. Like, is she getting support or like acupuncture or Reiki or all these little I want to say self-care or like healing
Modalities.
modalities. Like for me, I had all that, Zoe. I had all,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm a thriver, right? I had the, for a lack of a better word, I guess you could say, the luxury of having all these things. I had a beautiful wardrobe accessible to me. I had good green juices. I could do all these movement classes. I can go to PT. I can get acupuncture for my pain, like clean beauty, all of those things that have helped me get from then to here. So where
Mhm.
Pablo comes in is what we want to help with is help women get to that point. We want to
Mhm.
we want to bridge that gap between post-treatment and healing, right? Like we want to be able to provide the healing workshops for women that really connect women. It's not just about coming in and listen to other survivors. It's about, like we do these beautiful floral workshops. We're doing a ceramic workshop. We're going to be doing a retreat, obviously, like things like that, and just bringing women together. Yeah, I'm going to be styling women with various brands this year, like to help them during chemo. Like, let me
Mhm.
wardrobe you to feel good for these next 6 weeks. Like these little things, these little like what I like to call them glimmers or
Mhm.
acts of kindness, so to speak, make a world of a difference. Because
Mhm.
unfortunately, when we're done everything, our healing journey is just starting. And
Mhm.
I've seen many people just kind of fall off, not just in my orbit, it's other people's orbit on this journey. Like, oh, you're done. You're good.
Yeah.
So I want to create that community, that space for women to lean on, to feel supported, to feel beautiful again, and to be able to have the access to clean beauty and the things that they know that they're putting on their body is
Mhm.
not going to kill them or make them sick again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that is what our focus is on as we move forward. Like I'm partnering up with various clean beauty brands and we want to create, wellness activations and spaces and aside from just educating women, but really helping women on this journey because that's what
Mhm.
it's really about because we want to live. I don't want to survive.
Mhm.
I want to
Yeah.
live. It's about living and thriving and how we're going to live and thrive is having access to all of these things and having the support and community that we need. Because there's many, many, many women out there that don't have anything and they're just surviving. And I want to be
Mhm.
help women to give that's me paying it forward.
Mhm. When the little things are truly the big things. And to your point, we aren't meant to just survive, but be able to thrive. And when you create these spaces for storytelling and shared community, like, what would you say the power of, like, share? I'm just like thinking about just like all these women coming together, sharing their stories. What does the power of community mean to you?
Well, first and foremost, stories shift. They're when someone's sharing a story, the behavior shifts and the statistics, fall to the wayside, right? Community is connection. It's an act of self-love. Human connection is so important, not just in my space, but like, as you know, the importance of connecting with other individuals. It is a form of self-love and healing. Like for me too, like going back to my healing stages, like connecting human connection with my best friend, like every day is a big deal.
Mhm.
You know, I tell this to everybody. If you know somebody that's on this journey, obviously, if you know someone that's on this journey, connect with them, check in with them, and also check in with their family members or their spouses or their partners because they need that support too. Connect them
Mhm.
with a community that you know because community is about connection, and it really is just giving. Kind of similar to Rachel Circles, it's like you give them that space. That's
Mhm.
you have that safe space to share, uh, to release what you're going through without any judgment, with no advice.
Mhm.
It's like the reflective circle, right? And getting that validation, like, you know what? It sucks.
Mhm.
Instead of, you know, the advice, so to speak, but like community to me is to me and is everything. Even before I was diagnosed, like I leaned on my community so very much, and it was a beautiful way to connect to other women and have other women connect with other people within their field, and just bringing women together to whether to be network or make a new bestie, and it's just as you know, like bringing people together. And people talk about community a lot, but it
Yep.
really is, it's life changing when you have a true community support. Like when we launched Fondle, I remember we launched and it was very new Instagram, whatever. And when we launched, we were inundated by women, not just
Mhm.
survivors, just like
Yeah.
how powerful like our campaign was, just showing women coming together, sharing stories and feeling beautiful and powerful and leaning into everything that they've been through. And they're just like, oh my God, I felt so alone. Thank you
Mhm.
for just sharing the story and seeing that, like, I'm not alone. Like, when we do those circles, it's like we go in with our stuff,
Yep.
I don't say baggage, but like we're
Mhm.
all going through stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm really not alone. We're all going through
Mhm.
all these things, but this is where you lean in to your community and you talk to somebody, or just you don't even have to share anything, but just hearing that what other people are going through and how they're navigating those challenges,
Mhm.
it's great. It's awesome. It's healing, at least for me.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, we want to be seen, heard, and loved. And like, that is the power of community. And like, going through something like breast cancer, it might seem like it's something that's just affecting your body, but everything is truly that mind, body, soul connection of just kind of depletion to be able to like rebuild. And like, that's what you're so powerfully doing in the Fondle Project as well. Is there something that you tell or you share with every woman who might have just gotten out of or is still going through her diagnosis or is like 1 to 2 years out to kind of encourage them to get back to that place of confidence and
Yes.
fully being themselves?
I always say that you are not broken, and
Mm,
your body is wise, and you'll get through this. Lean into your community, lean into your support, ask for help. It's okay. Reach out to other, we call them breasties, send DMs, reach out, don't be afraid to ask for help. But again, you are not broken. You will get through this. You absolutely will get through this. And our bodies, human bodies, they're pretty amazing the way if you take care of it and treat it well and respect it, it'll
mhm,
it'll come back tenfold. It's just, I mean, I've learned so much after my body's been through so many changes, and I respect it and care for it so much now that it's given it back. It's coming back to me, and
mhm,
it's vibrating high, and it feels really good. Not to say I just
mhm.
respected my body, but you kind of I took things for granted.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it took an early cancer diagnosis to really like, oh shit, I thought I was being healthy. Or it's not even just about eating healthy, mind, body, soul connection, the stress,
Mhm,
the chaos, just the all those things, and just paying attention to your environment, paying attention to the people you surround yourself with are so important. Again, going back to community, but like for me, it was like anybody that doesn't serve love at the table, I'm done.
mhm,
I'm not interested, and
mhm,
you know, it's, you have to remind yourself to be surrounded by love, but also talk kindly to yourself.
mhm,
I never talk kindly to myself. I talk kindly to everyone around me because that was my job.
mhm.
Women. feel good and feel confident during the various transformations in their life, whether it's divorce, body change from or post baby and whatnot. But talk kindly to yourself. To me, it's been a key.
Mhm.
So, like just reminding yourself every day, like I remind myself, like that I'm healing and that I'm strong. And I thank my body. I actually thank my cancer because I feel
Mm.
like I've learned so much and I've grown so much and I've truly healed and I recognize what my body and my mind, body, and soul needs now in order to thrive.
You're such a sweet soul, Gina. Like, but that's truly authentic to you, and I like believe all of that. And you're sharing this with the world, and like where it sounds like you're in such a good place, but I also want to pose the question back to you. We're talking about other people post breast cancer diagnosis, but this year it'll be 10 years since you were diagnosed. Like, how does that feel to you? As you were mentioning, like it's always going to be something in your journey.
I mean, it feels awesome, obviously. I mean, to celebrate coming up on 10 years, it's amazing. But I'm not gonna lie, like there's always the unfortunate part when you are faced with a cancer journey, when we have a headache or like back pain that lingers for a long time,
Mhm.
your doctor, I get so many scans, it's ridiculous. And there is such a thing
Mhm.
as anxiety. It's very real.
Yeah.
Like I
Mhm.
had these ongoing headaches for weeks, 3 brain scans. They have to do it because they want to make sure there's no recurrence or nothing has spread, whatever. So I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful that I feel good. I'm grateful I can pay it forward and help other women, whether it's
Mhm.
with them or help them, get, you know, from A to B, because it's a journey for the rest of our life, forever.
Mhm.
This is just something that I'm celebrating all the wins and accomplishments, obviously, and I'm so fortunate. And I will just continue to live my very best life every day. Every day.
Mhm. Yeah.
My 5 p.m. dance parties with my daughters every day. That is just like
Yes.
it's just moving your body so important. And, it's just, again, surrounding yourself with people that support you and love you, no matter where you are in your life. That's very important. And one of the things I always ask a breast cancer survivor when they approach me, like, who are you surrounded by?
Mm.
Who's your support? How do you feel when you're with those How do you feel when you're with that person? Well, they kind of make me feel, well, guess what? That's just in general in life. You know that. Like,
Mhm.
you surround yourself, it's a mindset
Mhm.
you need the positivity. I don't want to be, what's that saying? Like, is it called toxic positivity or something? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
not, I don't want to be that girl. But it's like, it really is like being around people that make you feel good. I tell my
Mhm.
daughters this. I'm like, when they're going through these friendship shifts, right? Which is very common with teenagers. I'm like,
Yeah.
how does that friend make you feel? Oh, she makes me feel alive and amazing. Awesome. How does she make you feel when you walk away? Oh, alive, amazing. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Then, there's friends that when you're with them, man, what a drag. Like, and then you walk
Mhm.
away feeling so heavy. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, maybe you should kind of, check on that. Like maybe you don't spend as much time with that person, or kind of figure that out, because if they're draining you or making you feel shitty about yourself or judge,
Mhm.
like you don't want that kind of energy in your life.
Yeah.
So I'm very mindful of that. And with Pondo,
Mhm.
we're a small nonprofit and we're seeking partnerships and sponsorships and stuff as we build our brand, but it's very important that they align with my movement and my vision. I've turned down
Mhm.
a handful of brands because they're so not aligned, and then I do not want that kind of energy in our space. I want you
Mhm.
to be aligned with what our movement and mission is, and our support and how important our environment is, what we put on our body, all of those things, because that's all part of healing and taking care of yourself. and the future. Like I'm not going to partner with a brand that's full of carcinogenics and cancer causing things, when I'm trying to help breast cancer survivors and also educate women the importance on like clean beauty and, things like that.
And we talk about wellness of like green juices, get your 10,000 steps a day. But what you're talking about is the true wellness of like surrounding yourself with community, those people that are like aligned and energize you to think and have gratitude for your body, have fun, to do those dance parties with your daughters and like let go of what's no longer serving us in life, in addition to having the green juices and movement and the 10,000 steps as we wish.
I mean, all those things, as you know, are really good for you. But I'm every woman, everybody. If you're not doing those things, it's okay.
Yeah.
But find those glimmers. What lights you up? What brings you joy? Is it hanging with your mom and having a matcha? Is it going, for me, I like going for a walk with my dog with no phone. That to me is the best. Or calling my best friend. Having a slow morning. Sure, I would love to have a green juice every day, but I don't have the time, but I'm not going to feel guilty. Figure out what makes, you feel good. And boundaries are important. Create your boundaries. Those are all acts of self-love. Obviously, yes, self-exams are very important. Self-advocacy is very important, but as a whole, you've got to take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. And those things, like you do you. Things that bring you joy. If dancing every day works, awesome. If sitting on your couch, binge watching your favorite TV show works, awesome. That brings you joy. I will add though, which I think you'll agree with me, and it's very hard today in this present day. Get off social media. Limit your social media. I mean, everyone's on it. I feel really good that I've limited myself to 8 minutes a day, which is a big, big thing. But it's cleansing because of everything that's going on in the world right now, unfortunately. But like, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of stuff out there. Or start unfollowing people that don't align with you, right? A lot of I was following that made me feel like I was going to die if I didn't do A, B, C, and D, or if I didn't eat 120 grams of protein every day, or do 10,000. I was like, oh my God, if I don't do these, am I going to die?
Yeah. Well, and it's like a dopamine hit too. It's like, how can we find that? Like, go outside for the hour a day that you're scrolling.
Right. Find your community. Like, do all these little things. It's just not, again, you're right. It's not about having a green juice every day or a supplement every day. It's like all these little things. You can figure it out. The journaling, the cooking, the whatever. There's all these little things that can bring you so much joy. Let those things in. You just do you.
Yeah. As we wrap up, are there any myths about breast health that you would like to bust?
Myths that I would like to bust.
Or truth that you think everyone should know?
I think that, no, should I say this or not? Screenings are very important. Yes. Here's one. Mammograms do not cause cancer. They do not. Okay, that's.
Do people think they do?
People think they do. I will say that body awareness, knowing your body, matters most. So get your screenings, but if you do, like me, if you do feel something and your screenings come back clear, I think it's very important that you pursue a second opinion. So what I'm saying is they're not always accurate. So Mythbuster mammograms do not cause cancer. You're 40 and above, get those mammograms. I would highly recommend that you get your risk assessment test. It's online, it's free, it's very easy to do. If you have a high risk, have that conversation with your doctor. I like to, I have dense breasts. When should I start getting ultrasounds to get a baseline? But body awareness is paramount. So, I mean, I think if you know your body, know your norm, when you're paying attention to everything that's going on and any changes, it's worth having a conversation with your doctors and go in with questions. And if you are dismissed, which I've been, and I know many women, find another doctor.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other messages or reminders you want listeners to take with them today from this conversation?
Well, again, second opinions are always good. Fondle your breasts. I mean, there's a campaign, fondle or field on the first, which is awesome. But if you can create some kind of ritual routine, whether you're in the shower, while you're doing your skincare, perform your self-exam, because the more you do it, it more becomes like a routine, right? So even if you do it for a quick 30 seconds while you're doing your skincare, and then once a month you do like your full 2 to 3 minute proper self-exam, I'm grateful and I'm happy. And then you'll become more familiar.
Mm-hmm. Great. And where can listeners connect with you, learn from you, and explore more about the Fondle Project?
Well, you can go to thefondleproject.org, to our website, which is ever evolving. Our Instagram handle is the Fondle Project. DM me, say hello. I'd love to hear from you.
Perfect. Well, check out all the goodness. We'll share everything in the show notes. Thank you for this beautiful conversation and just being the vibrant change that you are in the world.
Oh, thanks. So, mwah.
Thank you for tuning in to the We Shine Well podcast. If today's conversation lit something up in you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, leave us a review, and dive deeper each week by subscribing to our Substack in the show notes to interact with guests and discover more resources to expand you. Until next time, keep trusting your right next step and keep shining, my friend.